to all Muslims growing up during that time in America, I am sorry on behalf of America
I'm
for
sorry
the way
too.
that you were treated.
Hello guys, in this video I am going to react to Candace Owens, the foolishness of Candace Owens. You see, Muslims are recording some successes in the US or in America, not because they are smart or that they are doing something extraordinary to gain followers. It is simply because of the foolishness of some of the so-called Christians. The Christians in name only. I won't even talk about the illiberals. Those ones are like the donkeys the Muslims ride on, or the Trojan horses they hide in, so as to deceive some of the ignorant Western people. I am talking about the people who call themselves Christians, who should know better, the ones who call themselves the followers of Christ, who by their words advance the Islamic propaganda and agenda. A good example, as I mentioned earlier, is Candace Owens. She, for example, whitewashed the Tate brothers. The Christians complained about it. She doubled down instead of apologizing. It is a well-known fact that Andrew Tate converted to Islam not because he was convinced of the religion, but because he believed that Islam will provide a protection for him, for the crimes he committed against women. Islam provides for such rotten behaviors, while Christianity condemns it. In order to garner sympathy for Andrew Tate for whatever reason, Candace Owens had to travel all the way to Romania, from the United States of America to Romania, where the Tate brothers were held under house arrest, just to do propaganda work and whitewash Andrew and Christian, to make them more acceptable, or let's say more palatable to Christians. I don't know. Even if everyone knew very well that these two men had turned their backs on Christ. Recently also, she was on video apologizing to Muslims for quote and unquote Islamophobia. Islamophobia, yes. Mind you, this term Islamophobia is just a term used to shut up a critic or a Christian that when he or she is pointing out the evils of the Islamic ideology. It is just a propaganda term that means nothing, because if you know a thing or two in the Quran and the Hadith, you will clearly understand that the fear of the Islamic ideology can never ever be irrational, can never be called irrational at all. Muhammad, the obvious prophet, false prophet of Islam, said he has been made successful by the use of terror. The ideology of Islam is filled to the brim with violence against especially people who reject the idea of Islam. Muhammad also said that people dread in fear when they hear that he is coming, even if he will be arriving in a month's time. Yes, they will be filled with fear because they knew how violent he was. Islam was spread by the sword. Is that debatable? Are we going to debate that? In the 9th surah, Muhammad commanded his followers to unalive those who reject Islam. He also said that anyone who does not accept Allah as God and he, Muhammad, as Rasul, is an enemy to Allah. And that person is actively waging war against Allah. So Candace Owens can apologize as much as she wants. As far as she does not accept the ideology, she is actively waging war against Allah just by existing. So no amount of apology is going to be enough. So anyone who knows these things cannot be said to have an irrational fear of Islam. As I earlier said, Islamophobia is just a short-up term. Islamofascists, like the current ruling regime in Iran, aka the Ayatollahs, invented because many people were becoming aware and were actually speaking up. So for Candace Owens to make such a stupid statement that she is sorry on behalf of all Americans for how apprehensive they became after the 9/11 attacks shows that how they became apprehensive about people who hold such a violent ideology. It shows that she's stupid. It shows that she's ignorant. The woman really needs to educate herself. She peddles the false information that the extremists of Islam do not speak for the vast majority of Muslims, and that these extremists like ISIS, Hamas, Hezbollah, Al Qaeda, Boko Haram, etc., etc., that these people make up only a small minority. The thing she must understand is the Muslims themselves say that there are over 1 billion people or 1 billion Muslims around the world. So a small minority, let's go with 15%. So 15% of 1 billion is how many? It's a whopping 150 million. This number is huge, and the number is more than a population of so many countries. The population of the United States of America is 300 million. So half of that number represents the number of people who want to see the end of the US or the USA as we know her. And they have made it known times without number that this is what they plan to do. They have done that repeatedly, and they have done a lot of damages. Things deteriorated to the extent that we have it now, because the left are always trying to appease the Islamists. As I said earlier, they are just horses, or Trojan horses that the Islamists hiding. So the what's it called? The left have always been propagating lies from terrorist groups, eventually turning the whole propaganda into a language. And some foolish Christians think that the best thing to do is to do like the left, to appease the very crocodile that will eventually end up eating everyone, even going as far as adopting the language of the left. The way out of this mess is to speak up in a very firm manner. These Islamists are all cowards. They act when they feel no one is awake or when they feel no one is watching. The worst mistake a Christian will make is to try to appease a coward. We only be emboldening them. We only be encouraging them to do more damage. So please, Candace Owens, if you're listening, please stop apologizing to these people. You cannot apologize your way out of it. If these people get their way, they will do to you something very, very, very bad. What is called, you become a dhimmi. I won't wish dhimmitude even on my worst enemy. No, I will not. So please educate yourself. If you don't know what to do, there are lots of people who will help you. For example, Christian Prince, David Wood, who again, there are many of them. Christian Prince, David Wood, Hatuntash, many of these guys, these men and women, they are ready to help you to understand what is actually going on, why people feel the way they feel against people who hold such a violent ideology. Not apologizing. Apologizing will not help anyone. Anyway, a word is enough for the wise. Thank you. See you next time. See you in the next episode.